Hey, how you feeling today?
Good, hey.
Good, good. Thank you for coming to Coffee with CFI. So, although you're not allowed to drink coffee, which we'll talk about that later, but Coffee with CFI and my fancy CFI cup, like that. Got a couple left. Holler to play when you see him in the street. Square you away. Fortunately, if you watched Coach Cody's coffee video, he made me some incredible coffee. He's one of those coffee snob dudes. I typically think Mapco is amazing, and when I did that, he turned his nose up and said, "Oh, oh." So he required me to taste real coffee, and I gotta tell you, spot on. So if you hit up Coach Cody and be like, "Hey, AKA Cobro," and you tell him, "Hey, I like Mapco coffee," you might get yourself some free, highly stylistic, like, I think he played bongo drums while he made it, amazing coffee. So anyway, enough about coffee. You can't have it. We'll talk about it later. So thank you for coming on today. Thank you for taking your time this morning. So we're kind of using this to, I kind of wanted, like, what I realized is we got so many people that don't know us. Like, we've been training together for 4 years. And I don't even know where you're from. So certainly lots of our audience and viewing people, and subscribe, like this channel, come hang out with us. We get 100 subscribers, we're gonna do some cool stuff, swag giveaways. Woo! And what's the other thing I gotta do, Steve? They gotta like the button.
Like.
And new content upgrade.
The bell.
Yeah.
The bell.
Subscribe,
Thank you,
like.
thank you. These technologically savvy people are so awesome. They scare me away. Thank goodness for them, because otherwise I'm literally a Neanderthal. I was a feral child. They shaved hair off me and took me to school. It's crazy. But anyway, so all these time, obviously lots of our viewers don't know who you are. And they see you in class, they follow your instructions, and you're an amazing coach. But like, a little backstory always helps, right? So kind of want to get to know you. So first of all, where are you from?
So we're from Savannah, Tennessee. Me and Casey both.
Savannah, Tennessee. So I know where Savannah, Georgia is. Orient me on the map to where Savannah, Tennessee is.
If you picture where Mississippi, Alabama meet Tennessee.
Like the very, very tip.
That tri-state, yeah.
They call it tri-state area, right?
Yeah, so it's, Hardin County is the county that we're in. A lot of people know about Shiloh, the Battle of Shiloh.
Yes, yes.
That's Savannah.
Okay.
It's in Savannah, so same county. Yeah, me and Casey are both from there. Grew up there.
So what brought you to Huntsville?
Being a software engineer, honestly, it's, being an engineer, you just come here. It's
that's what we do here, right?
Yeah.
We're the town that engineers everything for everybody,
so
right?
I went to school in Florence at UNA.
Okay.
And had some family here.
They're the Lions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I had some family here.
Small working model for my senior project. And one of the major...
I was trying to turn down the volume on this, so yeah, keep going, sorry.
Yeah, he'll cut it out.
Yeah, so I had some family here, aunt and uncle, and I don't know. I like the feel of Huntsville because it's a bigger city, but it's not like Nashville big. Like there's not a lot of traffic like Nashville.
Yeah. A good friend told me he's 20 minutes from anywhere living in Huntsville because he's 20 minutes to the airport. And it's like, it's amazing. Like, what's funny is like the natives that are from here, I've heard them say, "Man, traffic's terrible. It wasn't this way 10 years ago." I'm like, brother, you have no idea. Like, all you gotta do is drive through Dallas Metro and be like, "I'm very, very happy to live in Huntsville. This is the most amazing place on earth. We love the Rocket City." And of course, it has the House of Games, the Iron Palace, the place we all love to spend our time, right? So that's even more awesome. So did you CrossFit before you came to Huntsville, or was this your first thing?
No, I was barely into it. I was only like 6 months into it when I came to Huntsville.
So where'd you get your first 6 months of CrossFit at?
So I remember it was 2016, March. It was the last Friday of the 2016 Open. I didn't actually do that open workout, but I remember it was burpees and thrusters. I don't even know what it was, but it looked terrible. I watched people do it, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here. But no, I started back in Savannah at just a garage gym. There's not any big boxes there, so just a garage gym. I was still in school at the time, finishing up my last semester, and so once I started, I was like, I kind of want to, keep doing this. The people that I started with knew some people in Florence, actually the Muscle Shoals area, and so they recommended me to that gym, and started there. They weren't affiliated, but they still did CrossFit style workouts, so I was like, I like it a lot cheaper than being affiliated too. So, so I finished. I was only there a couple months because I started in March and then graduated in May. Once I did that, I moved here in June, and then spent that month just, getting comfortable with Huntsville, and then started looking for a gym. This was the second one that I visited, and it felt a lot like the one I was at in Marshall Shoals. Very family-oriented. Like, you could tell just everybody was so friendly when you walked in. The first gym, I'm not going to tell where it is. It's not even here anymore, but hardly, like, nobody talked to me there. It was just like, they kind of just expected me to know how to do everything, and I was like, it was a terrible workout. So like when I came here, it was, I remember I was in Billy's class, and it was just during a sprint cycle, and so like we just did sprints outside, hill sprints. But I don't know, just the atmosphere.
It was very bad.
Yeah, it was bad. Just the atmosphere, though. I was like, most people wouldn't show back up after that, but the atmosphere, it definitely brought me back. Everybody was so nice here. I remember like it was yesterday.
So I feel like we started, like, I felt like you had been CrossFitting forever, and you had been here forever. This is the first time I've like really talked about when you started. We basically started here roughly the same time.
Yeah, we did.
But I just remember, like, I just thought you were so good at this stuff. Like, you're so good at this stuff. I thought, man, like, surely she's been doing this forever. Like, she's really good. And I remember we were just in all these gymnastic clinics together with Josh on like Saturday mornings, and I remember you were really good at stuff, and I was always trying to keep up with you, which was a mistake. So what was your athletic background before CrossFit though? I mean, you obviously done some athletic stuff.
Yeah.
So what had you done before that?
So pretty much ever since I could remember, I was playing softball, some form of softball.
My favorite sport. I'm retired. Don't ask me to play. I'm old, but softball was so much fun. Like I love baseball, but I loved playing softball. Very competitive. It was a lot of fun.
Started, t-ball.
So second base?
Yeah, actually yes. So I switched between.
I called it.
I switched between second and catcher. During middle school, I hated catching, but once I got to high school, something about it, I don't know. So I was catcher all throughout high school until my senior year. I got injured like the first game, so I sat out most of my senior year.
How'd you get hurt?
So catching, somebody was throwing to home from first, and they threw it far to the right, so when I stepped over, the girl slid into my knee.
I was kind of bet it was a slide. Yeah.
Slid into my knee, slight tear to the meniscus, but no surgery or anything needed, just basically had to sit out the whole season. Was luckily enough to come back, with the knee brace, started back at second, so I was able to at least finish out my senior year.
So at your highlight as a catcher, could you gun them out at second from your knees?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
You got a cannon. She's got a cannon, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know about now, but back then.
But you had a cannon, right? Yeah. Now if you probably it's like me. I throw the ball and I'm like, everything hurts. My elbow wants to come apart.
Also, I played volleyball as well.
Okay.
That was just a little fun thing. It's nothing serious. Our team wasn't very good, but
had fun, right?
Yeah, we had fun. It was just
no basketball Jones.
A little bit, maybe middle school, but once I got to high school, I had to choose kind of between. I could have done all three, and I did all three my freshman year, but it was just too much, and basketball was my least favorite, so I just kind of cut it out.
I'm always amazed by you guys at multiple sports, because like I played football, and like you lift the weights to play football. That was it. Like I wasn't talented enough to make the high school baseball team, and I certainly wasn't talented enough to make the basketball team. You wouldn't believe this or not, ladies and gentlemen, but height is not my thing. Certainly not gifted on the basketball court, but like you guys have played multiple sports, and Olivia's like that. She's played I think she played 5 or 6 sports at some time. We'll get her on the horn here one day. But it's like the fact that you were able to do all that. I think it translates to CrossFit because there's so many things that because you have to be multi-talented and all those other things. It's very. I think it translates very well. It's really awesome, and to see you guys. I feel like you adapt to this environment so much better.
Yeah. And it's also like it kind of fills that void of you grow up playing sports your whole life and then you're done and you're like, what do you do? Like, It's got that nice competitive aspect to it.
It's like, now what, right?
Yeah.
It's like, well, I got something I can do every day and be competitive in,
Exactly.
right? And competitive with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And modify when we need to, but we're still having fun and able to have that little. I always say competition. It doesn't matter who wins. It brings out the best in you. It's nice to win, but it brings out the best in us regardless, right? So, so talk about CrossFit. What's your favorite movement? Now, obviously, you're known as our snatcher for years, the Big Nasty. But what's your favorite movement?
I mean, I'd have to say snatch, but it's only like maxing out at snatch. When snatch isn't a workout, people expect me to do well, and I don't. Like cardio snatches.
Josh, she said she wants to do 100 squat snatches in a round. Like, that's what she said she wants to do. I heard it. You heard it here first.
No,
Yeah.
so like workouts like Randy, 75
Yeah.
snatches. I hate that workout.
Yeah.
But maxing out snatches, that's definitely my favorite. And basically just any gymnastics. Gymnastics is
Yeah.
really fun because it's very technical, and it's you gotta work hard to get to it. You can't just jump up there and do stuff. There's a lot of technique to it, and I guess that's another reason I like snatch, because it's, I guess, the most technical.
Yeah, it's basically gymnastics with a barbell,
Yeah.
right? It's a lot of speed and coordination and timing with something heavy over your head.
Yeah.
No pressure, just really heavy weight, crushing weight over your head. Yeah, it's awesome, right on. So my favorite memory, I would like to talk about our favorite memory of each coach. Like, my favorite memory of us is we were doing Barbara, and we had, with this back when the rig was right where we're sitting, like you can see the spots on the floor, right? This history, like it's history we have together. And you were on this pull-up bar, and I was on that pull-up bar, and it was the first time that I was a reasonably conditioned athlete doing Barbara, and we both just figured out butterfly pull-ups. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember, Barbara's 5 pull-ups or 10? It's per round,
20.
but is it 20 per round?
I think it's 20.
But maybe it was 20, and I was able to do the sets unbroken, and that was how I was catching you, because you were so fast on the sit-ups, which I'm like the world's slowest sitter-upper. And like, we were like staying right at each other, right pacing with each other, and no words are spoken in that moment, but we're racing.
Yeah.
In a positive way. Like, I think that's the coolest thing about CrossFit is like, we're racing, male, female, nobody cares, right? Like we're racing. We're in a race. Nobody told us we were in a race.
No.
Nobody demanded we win, but we were competing, and it was just I remember I sold the fuck out on that workout, because I was like, I got to catch her on the pull-ups. I got to catch her on the pull-ups. I got to catch her on the pull-ups. And it was my best Barbara score ever. And I laid on the floor in the old Steve recovery position, the fetal position, curled up and basically pleaded for my life with Broden and asked for forgiveness for what I'd done to myself. But I remember that, like, there was no words spoken. And my second favorite memory of you, and it's you and Sammy both, you've got this mom voice that I can hear from anywhere in CFI. I can be in the other room and I hear, "Come on, Steve, let's go, pick it up." And like, it just triggers a mechanism in my brain that says, "Yes, ma'am," and I just start moving. And like, someone else Cody could be screaming in my ear, and it's not has the same effect. So talking about mom voice, right? There's a reason why you have a mom voice. So for those of you that don't know, right?
Yeah.
Coach K is expecting a youngin', right?
Yep.
A future softball player.
We'll see.
We'll see.
see, maybe.
Nice.
Maybe.
Roll the dice. We know Uncle Steve gets every kid born near me, their first gift is the baseball glove. So I threw the chicken bones, and I was wrong for the first time ever. First time ever. I threw the chicken bones on the blood moon, like you're supposed to. I did everything right by the voodoo rules. And first time I'm a certified medicine man in a West Indian tribe, if you didn't know that. Random fact about Steve. And so throwing chicken bones and predicting the future is what I do. And I threw the chicken bones, and I said it was going to be a boy. The other thing I think of is 2020 has pulled the universe out of alignment, and it was wrong for the first time ever. But I threw the chicken bones the second time. She will be right-handed.
Okay.
So I'll buy a right-handed glove because she will be right-handed.
Okay.
I've never been wrong on this. Lefties and righties, I've picked them all, and they've
Yeah.
never been wrong. So chicken bones can't be wrong twice, but it is 2020, but I don't think the chicken bones can be wrong twice.
Yeah.
So if it is, thank God Amazon, we'll just swap it and replace it, right? So you became a coach, what, about a year ago?
It was actually when we were closed down.
Oh, that's right. So it feels like you've
Yeah.
been coaching forever, though. You're such a natural
It
at
was
it. You're
in
very
March.
good at it.
I think April was when I first started. So.
Right. So what led you to coach? Why coach?
I don't really know. I enjoyed CrossFit. I was getting pretty good at it, I thought.
Yeah. Obviously, by your scores. Obviously, the metrics say so.
So probably around the same time that I started getting interested in coaching was the same time that I injured my back. I herniated a disc. And so like during that time I spent a lot of time with CV and got kind of closer to her, basically talking about working through injuries, and I guess through that it kind of made me think a little bit more like, use this
Yeah.
to kind of, lead more people who either work through injuries or, I guess, inspire them to kind of, you can work through anything to keep going.
Can always train, right? The thing I
Yeah.
love about CrossFit, we train around our bullshit,
Yeah.
right? And I think I've told you this multiple times, but I've always admired your grit. And so grit is something that we value and cherish here at CFI. Like, it's not something, when I say you have grit, that's probably a compliment of the highest order. That's along with you have an amazing snatch, right? Like, that's right at the top level compliment you can get as a CrossFitter at CFI, is you got some grit. And I've always admired your grit. I've seen you, like, you had double unders, you were very proficient at double unders. Your back got hurt and you struggled with double unders coming back, and I've seen you just grit your teeth and immediately modify the workout. Like, it's not working today, doing something different. And that takes a lot of guts, because in the middle of a workout, you're passionate about what you're doing, you're trying to get a good score, you're working hard, and the frustration, you never let it boil over. You always keep yourself on a very even keel. I'm sure you're probably, like everyone else that's competitive, the rage is inside you, right?
Yeah.
I typically let mine out and the rope goes sailing across the room, and I typically am stomping around like a child, and you just grit your teeth and work, and that's the highest compliment I think I can give somebody, is you got grit, young lady. And I've always admired that. And it's important for everybody to understand, and thankfully you're going to do a piece on about modifying and why it's important, because it does matter, right? Like, if you don't, I think somebody told me recently that you're not really a true CrossFitter unless you train through an injury. Like, because part of our mantra is not just lifting weights, but what do you do when it doesn't go your way? And that's that mental toughness that we build here, and you exude that every day. And so I'm so thankful that you're part of the coaching staff, because you really bring that home for us, and I appreciate it, everything that you do. And so I think that's all I had on the menu today. So talk about your regular job. So you're a software engineer.
Yeah, so.
Talk about that. Where do you work? What do you do?
So I work for Raytheon. Now it's Raytheon Technologies. It got bought out
Yeah.
not too long ago. But up until, I guess, about June or July this year, I was always stuck in a lab working on different radars.
In the lab, cooking up
Yeah,
radar.
so, well,
Yeah.
all the classified stuff. So up until June.
Secret squirrel stuff. We're just kidding, YouTube. Don't find us.
No, up until June. So I was stuck in a lab even through the whole COVID stuff. We were still having to go in. But now I'm working at home, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
But basically just, I don't know, working software.
Yeah, working on software.
It's really hard
I do software stuff. Coding.
Coding, yeah.
Yeah. Ones and twos and threes. Like, all I know about coding is what I saw in the Matrix, and it said, that like ones and twos and threes equal blonde, fours and fives and six equal a dude. Like, I don't know. That's all I know about coding is I learned from the Matrix. So obviously I could be a coder, right?
Yeah.
It's not that hard, right?
Yeah.
Just put numbers together and make magic and make science.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like arithmetic. Don't ask me to do your math. Ever ask Coach Steve do your math, you will get a bad score. Positive or negative, it won't be right. So that's awesome. And so Zoe, the only thing that can make this better, sitting and having coffee with you and busy, well, you're having water, obviously. But the only thing that can make this better is if Zoe was here, because we love dogs.
Yeah.
So how old is Zoe now?
She will be 5 in January. So she's getting up there. She doesn't really act that old, I guess. I mean, I can't really believe that she's already 5, but I got her when she was 1, just turned 1, and I don't know, she's so spoiled.
She looks like such a puppy, and until Harambe
Yeah.
gets on her, and they're like, oh, that's a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's a maniac.
Yeah.
But they were having fun playing together, and she was giving the business, and I was laughing the whole time.
She doesn't really like other dogs that much.
She's a people person.
She'll tell them to back off when she doesn't want it. So
She's definitely an alpha.
I'm curious how she'll act when the baby gets here. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting.
Big sister. I think she's going to be a big sister.
I think it'll take some adjustment, but she'll be all right.
Yeah, first she'll be a little jealous, but she'll be like big sister jealous, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thank you for taking your time this morning, Coach K. Guys, coffee with CFI. Get you some of this good stuff. Next time it'll be probably Amino Fizz, because I'm down for some of that. Thank you for your time,
Yeah.
and we'll talk to y'all later.